If you were paying attention to the video where I repaired the head, you'll notice at the very end that I bought a new one. Wasn't worth fixing, got a brand new one. And also for an extra $100, I got the cylinder head, piston rings, which I just dropped. So we're gonna have a brand new top end on this thing. Let's get started. So we gotta get this old cylinder head out of here. It's really not too bad, but for an extra $100, may as well just replace the whole thing. And in order to get it out, there's this one little Allen bolt down here. We'll get that out, and we'll give her some nice little love taps with the hammer. She should pop right off. So in order to work on it, we're just gonna slowly turn over this engine and get her raised up out of here. Get her as high as possible. Right about there. And in order to keep all the dirt and debris out of the bottom end and the little clips that we're going to be removing, we're going to just take a rag and we're going to kind of stuff it around here. That way if anything does fall, it falls on the rag and not into your engine. Pretty important. In order to get this piston off, there's a little spring clip in here, and I'm just using a small flathead. I'm just going to lift that little spring clip off. I'm going to slowly work it out. You can see it's starting to come out. And I'll just work it around. Pops right off. Got that clip removed. We'll be able to push this wrist pin out. I'm hoping to be able to do it by hand, which looks like I'll be able to. Our wrist pin comes right off. One thing you want to take note of when you remove the piston, there's an arrow right there, and that points to the front of the machine. So we want to make sure when we put the new piston on, we line up that arrow the same exact way, pointing towards the front. Got our brand new piston here. We're going to install the oil control ring first. So you got your thin ring, then you have this sort of corrugated ring which is going to go on top, then you got another thin ring on top of that, so it makes a little sandwich. Start off, we'll put our oil control ring in. This is the corrugated part that goes in first. That'll just fit right in, just like so. Next up, we'll take one of our really thin rings, and one will go on top of this ring and one will go on the bottom. So we'll do the bottom one first. Just slowly work it around. Now we got the next thin ring. This will go on top of this corrugated part. Just like so. Our two compression rings, you have a thicker one and a thinner one. So the thicker one is going to go on this middle ring here. So we'll put that on next. And then this is the thinner compression ring. It goes on the very top. So the next thing we want to do is find all our gaps in our rings. You have a little opening here, and we want to offset them. So if this first ring has an opening here, we want the second compression ring to have an opening over here. And then also we're going to do the same exact thing for this oil control ring. One of these, like the top ring, will set off to the one side, and then the other one we're going to do on the other side. . Before we put the piston back on the bike, we're going to install this little clip on one side. It'll be much easier to put it in off the bike. That clip's installed. Now we can put that pin in from the one side and we don't have to worry about that other side. Before we put that piston on, we're going to clean up this mating surface here. Get that cleaned up. That way that gasket makes a nice seal. We've got this surface cleaned up. Before we put the piston on, we'll be sure to put this gasket on. It can only go on one way. You got a big hole on this end and a little hole on this end. Then we'll just feed this chain up through the gasket. Make sure everything fits in there nicely. And do be careful that you don't rip this. You definitely don't want to rip this. You'll be buying a whole new gasket set. So now I'm very carefully going to be putting our towel back around this whole thing, because we're going to be putting our piston on. And just in case I drop something, I don't want it in the engine. Go ahead and put the piston in. We'll put our clip in. You'll hear an audible click when that clip does go in. That way you know it's seated, and double check, make sure that's seated. Now that that is seated, we'll go ahead and remove our towel. So before we throw this cylinder on, we got to look at the old cylinder. There's an O-ring that goes around it, so we got a new O-ring in our kit. We'll get that on. Just make sure that that's seated. And we have two locating dowels. There's one here and one here. This one's still actually in the bottom end, so that one we're just going to leave on the bike. This one we're going to pull out, and we're also going to throw on that bottom end. This dowel's just going to go right in this hole, and it'll help hold this gasket in line when we go to put that head on. Back down to the cylinder heads. We're going to flip them over. I'm going to take this gasket off the old one, and we got two more of these locating dowels. So this locating dowel here has almost like a rubber washer, rubber gasket. So that gets inserted, and then the locating dowel goes into that. You can see here's the old one. I'll transfer over this side. Just like so. We're ready to put our new cylinder head on. I coated the inside of this thing with oil just to help with the break-in process. It'll just help lubricate that piston in the rings when we go to first start it. There's all sorts of fancy tools you can buy to compress these rings in order to get this cylinder head on, but I think we'll be able to do it by hand. Shouldn't be too bad. Goes on just like so. So as we slide this on, got to be careful with our gasket so we don't rip it. And we also got to feed our chain up through here. Make sure your gasket's in line as this is going down. And just wiggle it onto those locating bushings. Just like so. This cylinder block Allen gets tightened down to 88 inch-pounds. I don't have a Allen socket that's going to fit this, so we're just going to have to guess. Click!